welcome to a new episode of Dagon Pack News, where I share this week's best gaming news stories for you. In our first story this week, let me introduce you to this douche nozzle. Alright, you are looking at 27-year-old German driver Daniel Abt. I'm probably completely butchering his name. I don't speak German. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. He finished third in the latest leg of Formula E's Race at Home Challenge. With COVID-19 and everything going on, Formula Racing decided that they were going to do some racing at home things with video games in order to like keep things going, since, you know, COVID just like fucked everything up. Here's the problem for Daniel here. He was cheating. Daniel here thought it would be a good idea to hire a gamer to race for him. Yeah. You see, organizers thought he'd finish third until they later discovered that he had hired a gamer to drive the race for him. The switcheroo was discovered by ex-Formula 1 driver Stoffel Van Dorn, who finished second in the race, and suspected the Abt, who did not have his video turned on, wasn't actually behind the wheel. Instead, it turned out to be a gamer going by the name of Lawrence Horzing. That's right, dude's last name is Horzing. Abt is being forced to pay over $11,000 in fines. He was disqualified from the final race and has had all of his points from the series completely wiped out. Yeah, it feels bad, man. He has since apologized, saying, and I quote, "I did not take it as seriously as I should have. I am especially sorry about this because I know how much work has gone into this project on the part of the Formula E organization. I am aware that my offense has a bitter aftertaste, but it was never meant with any bad intention." There were no bad intentions, chat. Other than, you know, fraudulently entering a professional tournament, cheating at a game, disgracing the sport, screwing over fellow drivers. But you know, no bad intentions. Imagine, like, getting someone to cheat for you at video games, right? At video games. Like, I can understand getting someone to cheat for you on, I don't know, a college exam, an IQ test, a drug test. Not that I have any experience with that. But video games? Video games, really? I mean, you might as well get someone to have sex with your wife or your husband, which, maybe I can talk Snowlush into providing some side income. I don't know if he's paying any attention. He's here. He is here. He's nearby. I don't know what he's doing. Now I'm scared. I mean, if he really wanted to cheat, he should have just pressed R1, R2, L1, R2, left, down, right, up, and take advantage of the flying car cheat. In our next story, the winner of Fortnite Asia FNCS, that's Fortnite Championship Series Invitational, has been caught cheating. There's a theme tonight, chat. There is a theme. So the Fortnite Championship Series is a global solo Fortnite competition. The solo part is pretty important, and it's a lesson that Japanese player Sekosoma has learned. After winning the Asia component of the Invitational, he had his $15,000 of prize money revoked for teaming during the match. Teaming basically means that Sekosama quietly collaborated with another player throughout matches in order to gain the upper hand. The illicit teammate left loot in hidden spots throughout the map in order for Sekosama to find them. Meanwhile, the winner is reported to have communicated with his benefactor during matches in the final. In addition to stripping away the prize money, Epic has imposed a 14-day ban on the player With Seko-sama's victory forfeited, player Q-Jack was pronounced as the official winner. The article actually had a sentence in here. I actually cut it out, but you know what? I'm gonna read it to y'all. Just so you can cringe along with me. Seko-sama has been stripped of their prize money and suspected for a fortnight. Suspected for a fortnight? Like, what does that even mean? Like, okay, so I'm a championship official, right? We're going to strip you of your prize money, and for the next 2 weeks, we are going to look at you in an accusatory fashion. I'm suspicious of you. Also, does anyone else think that the 2-week suspension that was given was just so they could make a Fortnite pun? Really? Like, Fortnite giving out 2-week suspensions? Like, does Epic only give out 2-week suspensions? Like, you get in trouble with anything in Fortnite and you're suspended for 2 weeks every time. I mean, either way, you know, it's just absolutely horrible. It completely ruins the fun of the game to be trying to get a competitive advantage over everyone else by cheating. You know, it'd be like if the zombies in Resident Evil kept giving you like puzzle clues, taking all the fun out of the game, right? Like brains. Though if you mix the red and the green herb, it makes quite a tasty dish. Okay, I'll fire myself, chat. I'll just see myself out. The Last of Us 2 kills off the last living PlayStation Vita owner. Look at it. That person is playing a PlayStation Vita, and I am here for it. So, an unexpected cameo showed up in Naughty Dog's gameplay reveal of The Last of Us 2 on Wednesday of last week. The PlayStation Vita, which has somehow managed to survive well into the year 2038. Regrettably, the last remaining Vita owner to survive the mutant cordyceps fungus has been killed by Ellie, who viciously stabbed its owner in the neck. And so then the PlayStation Vita finally dies off. Reportedly, the reason she was killed off was because she was using the Vita to play emulators of old Nintendo games. Oh, Sony can't have that. It's amazing how the Vita lasted until the year 2038. It truly is the preservative-filled McDonald's burger of the video game world. This is the best video game console cameo since Atari Jaguar appeared in Saving Private Ryan. And the Sega Saturn had a brief cameo in retail shops. It was a very, very bad launch. Mafia 3 Definitive Edition somehow forgot to support the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X enhancements. Oopsies! So Digital Foundry discovered that Mafia 3 Definitive Edition doesn't have support for PS4 Pro and Xbox One enhancements, as reported by a sister site Eurogamer. The base game has had upscaled 4K support and other features on PS4 Pro since December 2016, and on Xbox One X since November of 2017. Now there's a 10 gigabyte Definitive Edition patch. It's a free upgrade on all platforms for owners of the base game, and it includes all the DLC at no extra cost. But it accidentally removes PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X features. As a result, playing Mafia 3 on Xbox One X has the game running at 900p instead of 1728p. That is a very significant downgrade. And players have been opening up support tickets with 2K Games, complaining of blurry and muddy visuals. Complaints were that the graphics looked outdated. There were also blurry visuals, and that the character model costumes were so out of fashion, it seems like they hadn't been updated since the 1950s. Get it? Because the game is set in the... Moving on, they have said that there will be future updates to fix the issue with the definitive edition. So it's not exactly definitive then? So is that like, you know, you can't have a definitive Mark II. You know, this is like when you're writing an essay and you keep having more updated versions. It goes project, project 2, project final draft 2, actual final project, and of course, final project, birth by sleep, 4/389, 0.69, definitive, ultramax, keyblade, friendship, director's cut. I'm just gonna stop. This next story is super weird. So someone is selling 128 megabyte USB drives for $350 as 5G shields. Yes. So this $350 device is purportedly the result of several decades of research that will keep you and your family safe from the 5G cellular network standard. Air quotes. Now, before you scoff at the price, consider that this USB drive apparently also protects you from other technologies, like cordless phones. This is a direct quote from their site chat. Through a process of quantum oscillation, the 5G BioShield USB key balances and reharmonizes the disturbing frequencies arising from the electric fog induced by devices such as laptops, cordless phones, Wi-Fi tablets, and of course, 5G. Here's the best part. This whole thing is all it is a 128 megabyte USB drive. Seriously. 128 megabytes. I forgot those even existed. Like, we're going back to the days of floppy disks. Remember those? Back when all the technology could be used as a sexual innuendo. Oh, baby. You turned my floppy disk into a hard drive. Let me insert my dongle into your port. Have you been scanned for viruses? Can I upload some files to your cloud? Just doesn't have the same ring to it these days, you know? They say they have done several decades of research, presumably on how to con people. If you are dumb enough to accept their several decades of research line, why don't you trust the actual people who developed 5G? They also do research. Oh, I suppose they're just lying to you to get you to buy their product. No way BioShield would do that. After all, it has a lion on its front page for some fucking reason. It's totally legit, chat. In our next story, there is a 19-year-old CEO who has started a professional Minecraft building company. Varuna is a team of builders made up of 34 members who actually get paid to craft spectacular creations for their clients. His name is Thomas Solikowski. He's the CEO of Varuna, and he's been paying for his education with his earnings at Varuna. The thing is, the best part about this housing bubble is that it actually can't burst, because it's way too hard to build a spherical bubble in Minecraft. This project is strikingly similar to real-world building, only differences being that these builders don't go over budget, and they do not take 3 months to finish a goddamn attic! Destiny 2 players are looking for a giant spaceship by staring directly into the sun. Don't look into the sun, only presidents do that! As the current season of Destiny 2 draws to a close, Players are desperately searching for signs of a giant spaceship that's supposed to be on a collision course with Earth. They have finally found it by staring directly into the sun. The Almighty is the Cabal superweapon set to crash into Earth in a last-ditch effort by Destiny 2's bad guys to get revenge on the players who thwarted their plans for domination of the solar system. They stared into the sun for a long time, and now they're starting to see shapes. I think that's called solar retinopathy. If those shapes seem to follow you wherever you look, you should probably go see a doctor. Yes, hidden in the most visible place known to man. It's so obvious it just might work. Like putting porn under the mattress, or into a folder labeled "Not Porn." This giant spaceship is on a mission to destroy Earth. They are going to be so annoyed when they find that Trump and COVID-19 has already done it. They're gonna get here and they're gonna be like, well, fuck, what do we do now? That's gonna be it for this week's Dagon Pack news. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, hit those like and subscribe buttons. And if you feel so inclined, leave a comment down below. And if you have any stories you'd like for me to cover next week, leave those in the comments as well. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.